Welcome to Give a Dram with Drew and Mandee. If you like what you see, please give us the thumbs up and subscribe. Hello, Governor.
Okay. Where are we going with this, love?
Well, it's an English whiskey that we've got today. It's technically not a whiskey, it's a spirit. It's a spirit.
We're going to commune with them.
We're going to commune with them.
Yes, in an English voice.
Are we going to have ghosts behind?
Are you going to be British kid?
I'm going to be British kid. I'm Mandee, and this is Drew, and welcome to Give a Dram.
That is awesome, British kid.
Ta-da!
I'll be appearing in Mary Poppins later this week.
As will we all.
Dick Van Dyke can have his accent back. I'll just stick with where I am. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another fun film with us. How are we doing? You having a good week? Brilliant. Like us, subscribe, join the channel. We've got more of this. We're here all the time. So yeah, welcome.
What are we going with today?
So we are going with Oxford Rye Spirit. There we go. And this is from the Oxford Artisan Distillery, or Toad. Think Toad Hall. Wind in the Willows, which is, basically off of the meadow in Oxford. So got a little froggy there, or a toady toad there. Oh. Mr. Toad was a wild ride. Is this one going to be a wild one for us?
This is going to be a wild one. We will find out.
Let's talk about the distiller.
Okay.
So, website says they basically grow all their historic heritage rye, and they basically grow it themselves and everything. But on the bottle, it says something a little bit different.
The bottle's saying that it comes from grown within 50 miles of the distillery. It's 100% organic rye.
Mm-hmm. Which is good.
That is quality.
Yeah.
It's come off an Oxford field down there in Oxfordshire, and it's unclear whether they were farmers and they've got all the grain themselves and they're sorting it out, or whether they're actually
collective altogether sort of thing.
Doing well, and they've decided that they're going to have to increase the yield and go and get other farmers to help them.
It could be.
The artisan aspect in their name kind of tells me they're kind of small scale.
Small batch,
low numbers.
Yeah.
That's kind of what drew me to this.
Exactly.
I've got a batch number 5 for this one.
And we have heard a lot of, they do have a rye whiskey, which I think is probably it's an exclusive limited edition. That's not what we're trying today. So
no.
This is the Rye Spirit, and I think they basically, what they're saying on this one is, this is one they've just they bottled over lockdown, and they just kind of have.
I actually think this might be a little bit earlier than that.
Is it?
I think it's a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
I think this is their kind of prototype kind of foray.
Yeah.
I think with the distilleries 2014, they're quite early doors for them, and I think that they've done gins and vodkas and things like that, and they've got this rye, and they're not selling it as a whiskey, or they're just selling it as pure rye spirit.
So good old Toad, and this drink, it's blended by a fellow Californian who actually, like me, came and moved to the UK, Mr. Cory Mason.
Yes.
And
Master Distiller.
A Master Distiller of here at the Oxford Artisan. And can't say artisan right. Artisan. It's trying to be very posh.
Yeah. That's where the Mary Poppins comes in. She's getting ready for a performance.
So Cory's a bit of a legend. He was in California. He went to Brooklyn, and I love this story. So he set up his very own illegal speakeasy in his apartment or flat in Brooklyn. Now he says he took over the entire floor, and he set up a still there. So there's that ain't cheap to do in Brooklyn, but wow. So he's kind of come on a journey, and then he came to the UK in 2011-ish, I think, where he went and got a master's in distilling, and he worked with some big brands. He's worked with a couple of big Scottish sort of whiskies.
He's done some startups.
He's won the train, done some startups.
Yep.
So yeah, so he kind of wanted to set up this, and I think we watched some of the videos, which we'll put in a link below. But he actually lives in a longboat with a Dalmatian, and just was really inspired by Oxford.
I can understand him wanting to join this company, the artisan aspect of it, and being able to set up the stills and kind of create his own make and mark. And I think we're going to try it.
We're going to try it. Now, this is one where he's not wanting to create an American whiskey in Oxford. He's taking the essence and he's drawing inspiration from the wheat and from the rye to make his very own.
So I think he's trying to capture a little bit of the Oxfordshire kind of sensibility.
Countryside-y type of stuff.
Yeah. I definitely think...
I think this is my glass and this is yours. Giant drams are back, everyone! Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, okay.
We're going to snort the snifter glass.
Smell. This is a snorter glass, not a snifter glass, I think.
Goodness me.
Okay, this one has a really, really strong smell.
That is an incredible an instant floral note.
I smell hay.
Yeah, I do.
Hay straight away.
Weird. This is
and
straight out of the field.
This is really weird. It reminds me, I lived in York for a while, and we used to get the smell from Nestle's kind of blowing across the film, and it smells that burnt chocolatey. Yeah.
Weird.
It's so weird. It's so weird.
How amazing something you kind of smell something and it evokes a lot of.
And like biting into that smell of when you like a fresh green apple.
There's a lot of zest to it. This is like, I don't know. It's not aged. It hasn't sat around for a long time. This is very new. This is very fresh.
I've not tried this one before. This one has. That's all I'm gonna say. This one has.
Not with this snifter glass, though. I've got to say, it definitely has influence.
But yeah, this is giving you a really good smell.
I had some preconceptions.
I'm expecting this is to pack a really proper punch. Now, as you can see, it is quite a pale color.
Very straw-like.
And there is no age statement on it, or NSA, as the posh folk like to say. That might put you off. May not.
No.
Wouldn't just put us off.
No.
We're going to go for a taste?
Taste.
Yeah.
That's super delicate. That is super delicate. It doesn't hang around long. It's there. It's on the palate. I've got to...
It stays at the... I think it stays at the front of the tongue for me. I get that taste, a little bit of taste of the hay toastiness.
Yep.
And again, I come back to that kind of nutmeggy, appley type of apple pie, but very, very, it's a very pale. I expected a lot more from it.
Yes.
I would say
that is hay liquefied.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this one. I'll be honest. The finish is a bit light.
Finish is non-existent.
It's kind of like when you have a nice perfume and you put it on and you're like, oh, this is lovely, and then about a half an hour later, it's kind of like,
All the top notes are blown off. There's no kind of middle or bottom.
You go from a very light top note to base.
Really good top, and then the base. I don't know.
Base is hay.
I think my feelings.
Go on.
My feelings on this are that if you're like beer, it's light beer. So if you're not mega keen on knocking back, full strength lagers, and you fancy something, it's in the same ballpark, but it's at the lighter end of the scale.
Yeah.
I think it's very similar. I think if I was going to say one off the shelf, if I went down to a local supermarket and I picked one off the shelf, it'd be something like a blend that was a bit, maybe like a Hague Clubman. So
I can say that. I mean, I like, you're supporting, when you buy this bottle, you are supporting a smaller company. You're not supporting a sort of bigger thing like a Jack Daniels. I think if you were looking for something that was a little bit different, this is not and I get where they sort of say it's a preview of it.
Yeah.
Because I think it could mature into something quite nice, and then maybe taking a little bit off just to see. But do you know what? I probably wouldn't sip this one straight up personally.
No.
It does feel a bit light. So if you're not quite sure and you're like, I want to try one that isn't very heavy and heady, I think this is one that you would try.
That's for you.
I kind of think actually I'm kind of thinking something. I'd actually pop it into a sort of like a summer old fashioned type, or a whiskey sour. I think with a little bit of extra fruit to give it a bit more flavor would be nice.
Yeah, maybe.
Ginger beer.
Ginger beer.
Ginger beer.
I like ginger beer with everything.
Yeah.
I will be honest. This reminds me of Macara's Cask Strength gin. It's the gin's slightly darker. It's taken on a lot more of the wood. But
it has.
It reminds me of that. It's it's definitely.
It's summer. It's definitely
summer. Summer in a bottle.
Summer in the meadow, kind of meadow. I think it's an alternative to if you wanted to try something that maybe was not a Pimm's. This would be quite good. So I'd say, if you had a friend who's like, I'm not really a whiskey drinker, I don't like the smokiness or the sort of things, think, try this one. Do I give a dram about it? As a mixer?
I'll be honest, it's just not my dram.
It's not my dram either. But this is just our opinion, and this is the great stuff.
I wouldn't let it influence you buying their rye whiskey because they are different beasts.
I've heard massive. We are going to try that somehow. It's a limited edition batch, so we haven't been able to source it yet.
So they are different.
Chaps at Toad, if you're watching and you want to change your mind, hit us up. We're not going to say no for a wee taster.
we bought this.
But we buy,
This was £40.
We buy all of our drinks. So it's a 40 quid one. It's a bit much for it, but I think
not for an artisan. If I go into an artisan bakery, I know that I'm going to pay a little bit more, but I'm paying for somebody
who's made it, and you're supporting local business, which is always something that we like to try and do.
And it's organic. It's just a little bit.
I would actually say, and I'm putting a marker on us, when we're still going in a couple years' time, let's see what they're doing. And I want to see what this baby turns into, because I think it could be quite good.
But for now, I think we're going to join Toadie and we're going to go boating on the lake.
Yeah, wild ride. Let's go do it.
Let's punt away.
Bye, guys. Y'all come back now and drink responsibly.